Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited because this morning we are going to get ready together. I'm trying out a bunch of new products that are sitting in front of me. Some are hits, some are misses. You just gotta watch to see which ones I'm not a fan of. But you guys, before we jump into it, if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell for notifications of new videos. And if you like this video, make sure to hit a big thumbs up. But if you want to see how I got this look using some new products, just keep watching. Good morning, you guys. I figured today we would do a get ready with me using some of the new products that I have on my desk. I do have to wear my uniform and I'll switch into after I do my makeup, but we're going to try out the Anastasia Beverly Hills Spice palette. There was also the Sugar palette released with it, which is super cute. Not anything I can wear in uniform. Really pretty shades. I'm not sure if I'm going to just do a snippet at the end and add in that palette later. I think it would be easier with everything that I currently have on my desk that I should be trying out. But today we are going to play around with this lovely color story. Neutral, which is what I'm required to wear. Can wear. I have the option to wear makeup in uniform. But I was looking at the shades and I was like, okay, I can play around with a couple of them. There are 3 mattes that have glitter in them, so kind of like the sequin shades. But there's 2 actual mattes, 1 light, 1 dark, 3 beautiful shimmers, and then 1 that kind of I would classify as like a satin. So I want to swatch these, see which colors I want to play around with. And today, because of uniform, I'm a little bit limited, but the 2 like multi-chrome or duo shifts, those look really intriguing for a future use. So let's swatch and see what they're all about. Okay, you guys, swatches are really pretty. I feel like the shimmer shades in the middle are gorgeous. These don't actually have names, they kind of have like quadrants. So 1 row is Charlie, I say Charlie, A, B, or C. And then the going vertical is 1, 2, and 3. So if I'm talking about alpha 2, it's the one in the middle and the top row. So it's interesting because that's kind of the concept of the Norvina palettes that were put out. But looking at, what is it, Bravo 1 or B1, is kind of like a shimmer topper. And that's the one that I was looking at going, oh, I could use that for work today. It's very glittery and I'm gonna try and see if I can use that one, because the other 2, so Bravo 3 or B3, really pretty pink shade. I think I could wear that one to work, and it does have some shimmer glitter in there. But the one in the middle, B2, absolutely cannot, because it shifts green, not the vibe for a uniform. Now the other shades, so A2 disappeared. The glitter is on my arm, but the matte shade, I don't know where it went. It just disappeared when swatched. It is really pretty in the pan. I'm interested to see, like with a brush, would it have some color payoff? It could just be the swatching. Swatches don't tell the whole story. And then the 2 matte shades that have no glitter in them, A1 and C3, really pretty. I think those would be 2 like primary colors I could use on a daily basis, which is probably what I'm going to try and use today, and then use B1 as my inner corner area. So let me clean my arm off, prep my eyes, and we will dive in. Okay, you guys, let's kick this off. First shade I'm going to go into is A1. This is a very pale tan shade. I think it's going to be great for the crease. I'm just going to start out on my fluffy crease brush. There's a lot of fallout, and I don't think I've talked about that recently, but there's a lot in this pan. I don't know if you can even see it. Some people don't care about like fallout or kick up or whatever you want to call it. Some people do. But that one a lot higher than I was expecting. I'm gonna have to do some color management, make sure I don't get it too blown out, especially for work. But I feel like when I retire, this would definitely be one of those palettes that I use every day. I say every day, depending on where I get a job or what I end up doing when I retire will determine what eyeshadow palettes get used. But I'll have more freedom than what I have right now, where it's just nothing faddish, nothing over the top, nothing distracting from uniform. So like the bright colorful shades are just a no-go right now. And then into Charlie 3. This one I'm also still going to pick up on my fluffy crease brush, but ever so slightly, because the last one with kick up and it kind of went a little bit higher than I wanted. I do stick with my fluffy brush during the week when I'm going to work because it diffuses out the shade and doesn't make it as dark as I would do after work or on the weekends. I kind of do a wash of color when it comes to my outer V area, and right now this is a little bit deeper than I would normally do, but we'll make it work. And we'll clean that up with foundation and everything. I'm just bringing it more towards the center to have a base color for the shimmer that I use. I'm gonna dip into B3. I'm gonna put this in the center area, and I might use B1, like inner corner, into that area just because there's not a lot of color payoff. And I do want to try out this pink. Okay, that is a really pretty shade. It kind of looks wet on the eyeball or eyelid. I haven't had coffee, you guys. I've had water. I haven't even left my room to go to work, so just bear with me. That is really pretty. And now into B1. This one I'm gonna pick up on my ring finger and just place it right here into the pink shade. Oh, okay. So on the eye, not swatched, there's a lot of like color payoff. It is really pretty. So this one's actually lighter than B1 and it's more silvery. Like I said, swatches don't tell the whole story. Let me go do this eye and I'll be back. Okay, I have a bunch of other products on my table that are new, like the e.l.f. Skin Invisible Sunscreen. This is a primer. It's sun protection plus blurring primer. And I was like, is this gonna work on my skin? It says it's going to, and it's for everyday use. So I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna see. It makes me nervous. If it doesn't work for me, I have a roommate. I've got some friends here. Like maybe it'll work for one of them. Oh, okay. Well, shake it up because it just burst a liquid that is kind of gross. Live and learn. That's why I try this stuff out. Maybe we're not using this. We'll see. Okay, it's a jelly consistency. It's just, some of the stuff's been liquidy. So it's just now coming out in like this gelish form, which I was not expecting that. I was expecting it to be kind of like most sunscreens tend to be like a white, creamy color. So shake it well. I'm just trying to make sure it's all like pressed in, and because it is kind of slippy. I'm glad I still have my makeup wipe on my table from cleaning up the swatches, because like the liquid's kind of like a greasy. I don't know that I like that. If it does what it's supposed to, I might continue to use it, but I don't know, we'll see. And I do really like some e.l.f. products. Hence, I think I have another e.l.f. product with it in this routine today. All right. That's really weird. Like, shake vigorously. Okay, I am gonna go ahead and, this isn't a new foundation. I do have a new concealer, bronzer, contour, and blush. So I figured we would use a tried and true, and it's the NARS Light Reflecting in the shade Valerius. It is almost gone, so I'm really hoping I have enough for today. Like, yesterday it kind of spit and sputtered at me, and I was like, why? Oh yeah, because it's almost gone. I think I only have like this much left. I'm like, oh, I don't want to buy another one while I'm out here. It's something else that I would have to like ship home, take home type of thing, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get rid of things, but it is also a really good foundation. All right. I also like that I don't have to use a lot, and it feels like I did today because it's just at its end. But it's such a beautiful foundation. You guys, my mornings are not usually this disastrous or like entertaining. I'm usually pretty quick, get myself ready, out the door, start my day. Today has been something else. Yeah, I have a little bit more on my skin that I would normally use. I'm gonna have to like manage this. I forgot who I was talking to. They're like, oh, your skin's always like very blended. So I make sure to take my foundation into this area and then right here in the eye socket just to make it cohesive, because my eyeshadow primer is kind of a different shade. It's not necessarily like my foundation shade, but I don't want it to be like stark white comparison to everything else. So just bringing your foundation into the eye socket and into the tail of your eyebrows will help blend it so there's not too much of a variation and change. Like, no one wants to spend this amount of time on makeup and then look like they have like clown eyes. All right, so to manage the fact that I have more foundation on than I need, just take your dampened sponge and press in and it's going to pick up the excess, but also disperse out what you have on your skin. So it's a little bit more seamless and flawless. And then you're not like super like grease ball looking because you have way too much foundation on your skin. All right. Now for bronzer contour, I have the Camo Liquid Bronzer and Contour from e.l.f. I have mine in the shade light medium. I want to say this was in, did I order this? I think I ordered it from Ulta. We're gonna start on this side and I don't know how much is too much. So we're just gonna start with 3 little dots. It's also bronzer, so we're gonna end up taking it. I guess I could go ahead and do this right here. I really hope that's not too much. I should have known better. The blush is absolutely intense. Why did I? Oh, why? Why did I do that? Okay, apparently for my 5 head, I need more bronzer up here, which is fine right there. Maybe only 1 dot. Maybe start with 1 dot first. I just have a sun shield, and I've always had a sun shield. But I used to get made fun of for how big of a forehead I had, and I'd feel like horrible because I'd get made fun of, and now I'm just like, I'm making fun of it myself. I don't care. Okay, so contour, bronzer, none of that over here. So we have a little bit of definition. I mean, there's some like fine tuning that I could come up with or do, but it does have some blending powder. Very flat on this side. Let's see if we can close the gap on what we got going on over here. And then I do have a new concealer. This is from Alley-Oop Game Face Second Skin Concealer. Mine's in the shade All Star. I'm really hoping it's the right shade. And then I don't have a new powder, so we'll just use my Laura Mercier Ultra Blur. I don't know if the undertones are like the right shade, but it looks like a really nice concealer. It just kind of evened everything out. And I think with some of my darker shades, oh, that's nice. It's got more yellow undertones than I would go for. When I get back stateside, I might have to pick it up in the right shade. But when I self-tan, I will probably try it out with a deeper foundation. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and set this before I do my blush. Although the blush is cream, but I want to set my eye because my little eye crinkles. I don't mind it, but it does seem to be accentuating my eye crinkles. It might be for someone who has younger under eyes. We'll try. I'll give it a shot. All right, for blush, we have the Flower Beauty Gel Crush Lip and Cheek. I got mine in the shade Raspberry Crush. I will go in very lightly with this because do we see how bright she is? She is bright. We're gonna just dab on a little bit. Okay, maybe a lot. Or just, does it need to get heated up? There we go. It just needs some love and attention. The nice thing is, yes, it might be a little bit bright on the skin right now, but when I go set it with powder, it's gonna tone it down. Although powder can only tone it down so much, so it's still like within reason. But I'm really liking this. It has a nice glow to it. Like a healthy skin glow. It's pretty. And here I was thinking she was gonna be too intense. All right, let's go ahead and powder all this because we are a bit glowy right now. So it looks glowy through the powder still, but I like how my skin looks right now. Okay, we'll see. We have all day to wear this and see how it works and performs. The other thing is the weather is nasty. So we'll see how waterproof it is. All right, let's go ahead and finish off the eyes. Guys, I just realized the fan is still on. I really hope you can't hear the humming of it. Going back into A1. You guys, I do not like my under eye right now. That's the one thing. Sometimes you can look at makeup and you're like, oh, I absolutely love it. And later on down the road, like as it's been worn and throughout the day and natural elements, you're like, maybe not so much. No, this is an instant, like, I'm not a fan. No. Now into Charlie 3 or C3. You guys. So when I say Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, that's the phonetic alphabet. When I'm spelling stuff out using letters, that's how I do it. That's how we do it in the military. If someone's like, hey, can you pronounce it like better? Like, because some letters, when said really quickly, can sound like a different letter. So we'll use the phonetic alphabet to kind of help with that. Like, especially if you have a tricky last name like I do, when I'm on the phone with someone, they're like, oh, can you spell that? And every letter. And they're like, oh, okay. But sometimes it's helpful depending on who's on the other line. And especially if you have an accent compared to them, and especially being over in Europe right now in different countries, sometimes, especially if they have they understand a little bit of English, or like I've started learning a little bit of German, but it's not anywhere to like have a whole conversation, but I'm trying. Like if we go out to dinner or whatever, I can kind of order. It's not perfect, but I'm trying. But like checking into hotel rooms and having to give my last name, it's easier to do it phonetically. So, all right, you guys, into highlighter. This is the Toy Factory Dream Set in Bisha. This was in one of my subscription boxes, and it's super cute. It's just a really pretty, like, goldish champagne shade. So I'm really excited to try this out. Ooh, it's nice and buttery. So pop this in the inner corner. Into the brow bone. It's a really pretty shade and very glowy. Okay, I don't have anything new for the brows or the waterline. I do have a new liquid liner from Ofra, so we will try that out. But I'm gonna go ahead, brows, liner, mascara, lips, and I'll be back for the final look. Okay, you guys, I'm back and this is the final look. I really like how my eyes turned out. I'm quite surprised by the Spice palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. The color story is very neutral. So if you're not a neutral person, like you just love more bright and colorful, this might not be the palette for you. Like I did say, there is also the Sugar palette, but I do like how the shades performed. I love how wet my eyes look right now. I don't know that I needed to use both Bravo 1 or B1 and B3. I probably could have just done B1 and like try to see what it looked like without the swatch, because when you swatch something, of course, you're dragging the shade, which can disperse the color differently than if you're patting it on with your finger, which is what I did for application. But overall, I think this is a palette that I would wear on a daily in uniform. And I feel like it's still something, if you wanted a small 9-pan neutral palette, this is good to travel with because of the two shades in here, the pink and this like duo multi-shifting shade. But overall, I like this. Now, I have some thoughts about the rest of my makeup. The blush is really pretty and glowy. I don't know, I'm kind of not a fan, like I don't know if it's the primer or it's the concealer. And I want to give the concealer another chance, but also with the fact that this like needed to be shaken vigorously, and I'm looking and I was like, it doesn't say that I need to shake. It didn't say that it was going to break down. I didn't realize that it was going to be like super liquidy and then kind of had like a greasy effect. I'm going to try it again with a different foundation, because I also am not sure if it was like I love my NARS Light Reflecting, but I also know that I usually try it with my One Size or my Cali Ray. Those are really good primers, but I don't know if like this sunscreen primer along with the like glowy light reflecting foundation was the combination, but then also the concealer. My under eyes do not look great right now. They look okay, but when I'm looking at it, I was like, ooh, my under eyes aged. Also, I didn't realize this, but there's like a little like tiny sponge in here. So I guess if you were traveling and on the go, like it'd be easy to just blot and go. I always keep my sponge with me. So for those that want like the minimal travel makeup bag, this might be one of those things. And if you have younger eyes and you don't have little eye crinkles underneath, it might be a gorgeous concealer on you. I just am not currently a fan of it, and I will try it one more time with a different foundation, a different primer, and see if maybe the combination is just what needs to be changed. It could just be that it's not a concealer that my eyes like. So, all right, blush we talked about. Really like the glowiness, maybe on a different foundation. I don't know if like glowy foundation with glowy blush is like the key, but we'll see. And then this bronzer contour from e.l.f. I really like it. Granted, go in very sparingly in the beginning. And I forgot about the blushes and like how intense those were. And I know because I didn't bring them with me. They're back in the States in my house. So when I like went and did the 3 dots and I started to blend it, I was like, oh, these are very similar to the camo blushes. Be careful. Start out slow, build up. You can always add. It's hard to take away. That's just my opinion. Eyeliner, actually, very easy to put on. I like how that's the one thing. Some people like shiny, some people like matte. This has kind of a shiny effect, and it did pick up some of the eyeshadow, but went on seamlessly. It is a bristle tip eyeliner. I don't tend to do that on camera because sometimes it takes way too long or it just gets too blown out, and it's easier for me just off camera to do my eyeliner, and it's liquid liner. It's not always the easiest. It can be finicky. It takes some practice. But I like the Ofra liquid liner. I will definitely add that into my routine. But I think that's everything. Oh, the highlighter. The highlighter is gorgeous from Toy Factory, and it's perfect size for travel if you're not taking a face palette that has all those things in it. But you guys, that's it. Anything that I used off camera or didn't discuss will be linked down below, so you can definitely check those products out to see what else is on my face. But let me know your thoughts. Put it in the comments. Let's have that conversation. I'm interested to know, are you picking up the Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, or are you just not into them? I know like the big Norvina palettes that I can't remember how many shades is, like 36. I have those in my collection and they're very bright and colorful. So to see like a little 9 pan that's easy to grab and it's neutral shades, like I'm super excited for that. But you guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell for notifications, new videos. If you like this video, make sure to hit a big thumbs up. Until my next video, you guys, bye. I'll see you in the next one.